about 12 if you want today. Right, so to begin with, these a bit, just getting loosened up and just thinking about our posture and our alignment. So the knees just directly in line with the hips and heels directly below your knees. Hands down by your thighs, and as you breathe in, grow. And then pull right up through the top of the head and nod in the chin and slightly draw it back. So keeping the length into the neck and all the way up your spine. Bring your hands forward onto your knees, straight arms and shoulders draw down. So keeping the ribs and above still. Just a little scoop under with the tailbone. And as you're scooping under with your tailbone, you just get the feeling you're pulling the top of your pelvis away from your bottom rib. Sometimes when we do this, we end up almost rounding into the upper back. So we lose the stretch here. So again, have the feeling of pulling up through the top of the head. And as you pull up through the top of the head, then tuck under with your tailbone. And then you should feel it brings that little bit more stretch into the lower back. And it also gets the tummy muscles working as you're pulling your belly button through towards your spine. This time, keeping your rib cage still, you can draw circles with the hips. They're going to be really small circles because you can continuously pull up through the top of the head. So again, the shoulders and the upper body doesn't start to get involved. It's like you've got a belt here, and nothing from above that belt can move. You feel your tailbone scooping under and still feeling that work coming into your tummy at the same time. 2 more circles in this direction, and then you can take the circles the opposite way around. So again, pushing the hip to the side, keep pulling up through the top of the head, and still feel that you're pulling the pelvis away from your bottom rib as you tuck under with your tailbone. And again, from here, 1 more circle, and then resting in the centre. Bringing the hands down, rolling the shoulders back. Left hand lifts, easing down to the right for your side bend, and letting your left elbow just gently reach towards the ceiling. As we're easing over to the right, you're keeping your weight even through your feet and trying to make sure the ball and the hips don't move. Take a breath in slowly, and then breathe out, just restacking your shoulders back above your hips. And then maybe reaching a teeny bit further. And almost feel like you're lifting now your rib cage up away from your hips. So you're getting more stretch through the side, but still maintaining that tuck so it helps to stretch into the lower back. And once more. And then resting and changing sides. So reset with the shoulders. Right hand lifts, shoulder blades roll back and your tailbone tucks. Breathing on the way down, and then breathe out to bring the shoulders back. Again, you might feel your hip want to push off to the right. Keep gently tucking under with the bottom. Alexa's playing some random game with the ball. I think she started off by chasing the fly, and when the fly got away, she pretended she was chasing the ball instead. And again, 4 more. Soft breath in, ear in line with the shoulder. Keep pressing down evenly through both heels, and then going a little bit further if you can. 1 last time. And then resting. Taking your feet wide, so your knees push out towards your little toes. Tuck under again with your tailbone, so you're keeping the hips still. And then from here, you just go into the side bend. So 1 hand to your thigh, and the opposite arm reaches over. So the ear, the bicep comes towards the ear. Lengthen the arm, so you're really pushing away now into your fingertips. And as you move the arms, you're trying to keep the hips, again the ball, nice and still. And then see if you go a little bit further. Start to use the out breath as you move into the stretch. And once more, each way. So finishing your last one on each side and resting in the centre. From here, bring your feet back in, just a little bit wider than your hips. Tuck it under with the bottom and lift it into our squat. So the knees keep out towards the toes. You lift your bottom and lift the arms. 1 out to the side, then the other, and then lower back onto the ball. So as the hinge forward from the hips. Have to ignore Alexa, she gets a little bit of an obsession with flies. Because Steve always gets a towel out of the fly squat, so she thinks she's helping. Now again, once you lift off the ball, try and make sure your bottom stays in contact with the ball. The knees still press outwards, so that when you move the upper body, the legs, the hips and the knees stay nice and still. about working into the back of the shoulder blade. It's like you're trying to get that shoulder blade to squeeze right in towards the spine. Letting the head turn for a little bit more challenge, but still keep pressing the knees out nice and wide. I'm just hoping that the fly doesn't land on me, because if it does, I think the dog's going to land on top of me as well. Last two. Strong for your core. And then into your last one. And when you finish your last one, you get to stay down on the ball and you rest. From here, we're going to walk forwards. So the feet come forward, coming back to being narrow. Tailbone is gently tucked and your hands to your head. We're going to scoop the tailbone under, ease back for a crunch, and then we're going to reach over to the right knee. Into the centre, and then up and over to the left. As you reach to your right knee, pull your right elbow back. As you reach the left, try and turn the head and look all the way around to the side. So again, the breath just easing through the nose, out through the mouth. Try not to let the ball rock backwards and forwards. So the ball's staying nice and still. The more you're keeping the ball still, the more you're starting working through your core and your obliques, that twist. You can then start to go a little bit further back if you want to. If you're starting to go a little bit further back, you've got to make sure you keep the chin tucked in. Breathe in slow, and again the out breath as you reach. And try some more on each side after this one. Try to get the back of the hand to the outside of the knee. Last one each side. And then you're going to stay in the centre and we're going to stay with that forward crunch. So from here, your hands just reach into your knees and so you can roll a little bit further back. And again, as you're rolling further back, you're keeping the chin nodded in, but you're just letting your ribs move a little further away from your hips. So it really starts to work into your upper abs. Now again, still making sure the ball isn't rolling. Find that out breath for the lift. And just trying to line your fingertips with your kneecaps. Or more if you can. Again, with any exercise you can rest if you need to. But I'm sure you don't need to just yet. And your last one. We're going to come to our bridge from here, so we're just going to simply walk the feet a little further forward. Once you've taken the feet further forward, hands come onto the knees, slide your bottom towards the floor and lift your left heel. All you're going to think about doing is squeezing your right buttock. So you're going to push the hip up and hands back to the knees. When you push the hips up, let the head rest on the ball. What you don't want to do is tip the head backwards. You're keeping the chin tucked in. So when you rise, your hips, your shoulders, your knees are nicely aligned. So the left foot, the heel's lifted, and you almost imagine that your left foot's resting on an eggshell. Breathing out through the mouth, physically squeezing into the bottom. Nice long arms, but as you're reaching the arms back, you're trying to avoid flaring your ribs. Once more, and then we're going to change over feet. So place your left heel down, lift your right, all the work now through your left. Squeeze your left buttock, push the hips up, breathe in slowly. And again at the top, just thinking about that alignment. Hips, shoulders, ears, all in a nice straight line. So there's that extra little bit of squeeze into the bottom to get the hips up nice and high. Breathing through the nose, out on the lift. And one more on this side. Lexi's doing very mysterious tonight. He's chasing the fly, I'm really sorry. And your last one. And then rest. Both hands onto the knees. Walk yourself back up. And then from here, let your hands just sit by your hips. You're going to squeeze the elbows in. If you don't want to see the dog right now, squeeze the elbows in and lift your chest. Walk your feet again slightly forward and push your hands into the ball. Let your bottom come off the ball. And then we're going to ease into tricep dips next. So the back's nice and long. Breathe in as you lower down, and then breathe out on the way back up. Try not to let the shoulders round forwards. So the whole time you keep the chest nice and lifted. Breathe in nice and easy through the nose. A little pause, and then push up through the heels of your hands. Lindsay's heating up already. Give me 4 more if you can. If you need to rest at any point, feel free to take a rest. It's quite difficult on the ball, it makes everything wobble as well. Your last one, and then when you finish your last one, just sitting back onto the ball. Bring your feet back in, knees back on, heels back underneath your knees. Okay, back in set position. See what balance we've got. Shoulders draw back, arms in line with your shoulders, bow and arrow arms. You're just going to pull the right arm back and then the left arm. As you pull your right arm back this time, right leg lifts, back into the centre, left leg, left arm. So you lift the heel first and then really squeeze through the front of your thigh and try and keep your tailbone tucked under, because that's the bit that helps with the balance. Now the length in the neck, crown of the head pulled up towards the ceiling. We add on the next time you come to your right arm, hold it to the back, open, then close and lower the leg. So elbow, open, close and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, open to centre and down. Growing nice and tall all the way through. 1 more each side. And then again, just resting down, releasing the shoulders. Right, so when you're ready, your rest is over. We're going to come up into the centre and take a hold of the ball. A little lunge with a ball lift. So the feet hip distance, shoulders pull back and belly draws in. Your right leg steps back. Lower into the back knee and then push out of your front heel. Like a little seesaw, lowering down and then hinging forwards. Breathing in as you lower to the back knee. Breathe out as you push through that front heel. Now thinking about the back of your shoulders. Keep a little pinch between your shoulder blades so that when you come here, you're not letting the shoulders come forward of your ears. You're always trying to get the shoulders pulled back, so it just helps keep the stability muscles switched on through the upper back. Now as you rise, keep the weight in the heel and avoid the weight rolling forward into your toes. Give it 2 more to the top. And then your last one, hold in here. Bring your knee to the ball. You're going to push the ball forward and glide the leg back. As you're moving with the ball and the leg, trunk of your body staying nice and still. Standing knee, staying soft. And you're already halfway on this leg. Maybe lift the ball a little higher. So you bring your biceps just in front of your ears. 2. And your 1. Rest the ball down. Stay with the same leg, so you're keeping your right leg behind, and we can go into our lunge. So your back knee down. Push and lift. Reaching, foot as far back as you can. Nice and controlled. 5 more here. And again, strong push out that front heel each time. Try and get your heart right over the top of the ball. 2, 1. Bit more speed. Drop, push, drop, push. And again, it's a strong push down through that front heel. Nice big lift with that back leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, and your 1, and step in. And give that body a rest. Pick up your ball again. Reset your shoulders. Left leg back when you're ready. Big breath. Using your breath in through your nose, out through the mouth. Gentle breath in, out on the left. So just working slowly here, finding the stretch in your hip flexor as you allow that back knee to sink towards the ground, and still keeping that front knee stacked over the heel. Slowly breathing in, raise your core and tip. Arms nice and long. Again, hinging forward from the hips. Bring the ball all the way to the kneecap. 2 left. Maybe reaching the foot a little further back for a nice big lunge. And this time holding at the top. Keep your balance, don't do the hop. Just hold here and extend and bring the knee towards the ball. Then nice and long through the back of your body. Connection through the shoulders. Breathing out on the extension. Again, drawing the belly all the way through. 5, 4, 3, 2, and your last one. And rest. All down. I'm just opening the flags that land on my screen because I can see her darting himself at the screen if we're not careful. Left leg back, long lunge, 10 slow. Breathe in, ease down, look forward. Breathe out, press through the right heel. Again, soft breath in, strong breath out. Try and look forward here. And then try to reach your left leg a little further back. As you use the out breath, draw the belly in, so it brings you back to that neutral spine each time. 3 left. Ready for a bit more speed after 2. And then a little bit quicker this time, so a little bit more fling with the leg. Drop, push, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep pushing through the heel. 5. Straight legs it lifts for 4, 3, 2, 1, and step in. And just shake your legs. Right, now your legs are working. You can place your right foot on your ball. You've got your legs working, glutes working, your balance working. You just put it to the test now. So your knees next to each other, top of your shoelaces rested on your ball, and your shoulders drawn back. Nice posture. Just extend the leg back, reach the arms forward, and the shoulders back above your hips. Breathing slow. Breathe out, reset. In through your nose, out through the mouth. So your eye gaze comes about 1 metre in front of your toes, almost looking down towards the floor. Find length. Try and push your fingertips as far away from your toes as you can, and vice versa, pushing back with your toes. Give me 2 more of those there, and then the next time when you push back, you're going to hold here with the leg behind and the arms reaching forwards. From here, we're going to bend into the front knee. Back leg straight, front knee bends, and then push. Breathing in, out. So that back leg stays straight all the way through. You're dropping down to the hips and then pushing up out that front heel. Still breathing. Out breath on the rise. In as you lower. I've lost my balance. And I'm guessing you've got about 3 of those left. Now jump back in. Looking good. 2 and 1. And then stepping in. Trying it on the other leg. It's going to be all lying down soon, Lindsay will be alright. Lindsay's wiping away the sweat and the blood and the tears. Left leg. And Lex is still chasing flies. It's a little bit distracting, especially when you're trying to balance. Square the hips, draw the tummy in and your posture. Lengthen, and then pull back. Finish that nice hinge forward. You say nice? Thumbs point to the ceiling. Eye gaze comes down towards the ground. You're never letting your weight roll forward into your toes. Keeping it placed into the heel. As you breathe out, brace your core. As you breathe out, brace. Breath into your legs. No. And your last 2. Next one, you're going to keep the leg back. So from here, Bend your knee, lift the arms. That back leg stays straight. Just easing down and pushing up out the heel. I'm blaming the dog for my balance tonight, it's just distracting. Nice and long. So again, never bend that back knee. Just keep bending that front leg. 3 left. 2. And 1. And bring the knee in. And then you can have a rest, you can even have a lie down. Because I'm that kind. You not got it yet, Lexi dog. Where's the fly? Did you not get it? Stay with your glutes though. Not being perfectly kind. Both feet. Hip bridge with the ball roll, and then we'll just do the hip bridge. I don't want to pick. So the feet hip distance. If they're too narrow, it can tend to feel quite wobbly. So the feet, knees and hips in line. Hands just down by the hips. When you're ready, tuck in the chin. Feel both shoulders anchored to the ground, and then a little lift of the hips. Hold here, extend your legs into a plank position, and then pull the heels back up to the bottom so the hips are up high, and then roll down slowly. Now you want to try and keep the work out of the hamstring, so when you lift your hips, there's a tilt back with your pelvis, and then squeeze the bottom and press into the back of your shoulders. Breathe in, push the legs forward. Breathe out, pull the heels in, hips back up high, and then try and roll down through the spine. We're not in a race this one, it's just a nice, slow, controlled movement. Working slowly, so all the deep muscles get to do all the work. And you feel the movement through your spine as you roll down. So back the pelvis. Hands there for a little bit of balance. And we're halfway. We've just got 4 left to do. Use the out breath on the left. Breathe in as you push your legs away. Breathe out to pull the heels back. And a breath in as you release. And again, when you roll down, try and roll down through each vertebrae. So you try and relax the legs a little, squeeze the bottom, and then roll through the spine. And that should help the hamstrings a little. 2 left. Oh, 1 more could be just enough. I'm going to catch the fly myself soon. And easing down very gently. Both legs out straight. Take a stretch for your right leg. Try and press the heel up and pull your toes back. Press the shoulders down into the floor. And then try and press your tailbone also down to the floor. So it's kind of pulling the pelvis away from the back of the knee. And change legs when you're ready. Again, just looking at that hamstring stretch. Anchoring the bottom, pressing up with the heel. And again, if you need less, just hold the back of your thigh. But try and squeeze the front of your thigh, so encourage the length right down the back of your knee. And you can ease the foot back onto the ball. Hands reaching forward. They're almost parallel to your thighs. And we're going to come into our roll up. So it's the heels that need to be on the ball, so the ball isn't too far forward. When you're ready, tuck in the chin, reach towards the toes if you can, and then roll back down. As you roll forward, eye gaze towards your toes, ribs sliding towards your hips, and using the out breath each time as you roll forward. Out breath nice and strong. In breath slow. A little harder. Arms stay up and reach back overhead. And then push it up towards the ceiling and then roll back down through the spine. And again, it's that same control through the spine. Trying to place each vertebrae down 1 at a time. Give me 4 more. Nice and strong with the out breath. So we engage our core even more. And your last 2. Now you get to rest your head, and now you can do the same thing with the ball. You can start with the arms overhead, or bring them back down by your thighs. Dig your heels in and just start with a little reverse curl. So again, we're just rolling through the spine, tilting the pelvis back and just peeling the bottom off the ground. And we're going to come down as slowly as possible, almost trying to count each vertebrae as you place it back on the ground. And again, it's hard with the arms over the head. Just bring the hands back down by your thighs. Breathing out through the mouth. Breath in as you release. And 4 more again. And then we can progress even further. This nice controlled roll. And now what we're going to do is place the ball between the feet. So you can have your legs out straight, even if they're at the diagonal or above the hips. Lifting, rolling the ball back, and then trying to roll back down with control. Breathe out as you tilt back with the pelvis. And a breath in as you ease back down. Just again, feeling the movement. Feel control the movement through the spine. Making shoulders relaxed. And then we're going to add on. So as you come up, you're going to come up into a V-sit and then roll back. And then again, come back up into a V-sit. Breathe in as you roll back. And then breathe out to come forwards. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. And again, if it's too much with the V-sit, just stay with that first movement, just the roll back. 4 more if you feel okay. Out breath is strong. In breath slow. Last 2. The good news is, after this one, you can take the ball into the hands. Place the feet down and bring the ball above your shoulders. Shoulders press down. Press the back of your ribs down. I want you to go with a pull over from here. So as you're reaching the arms back, you're just working to keep the ribs down and not allowing the ribs to flare as you reach back with the arms. First option, starting to layer in a heel slide. You can work with just a pull over or start to layer in the heel slides. Now, when we're keeping the feet on the floor, we're staying in neutral spine. But each time you bring the foot in, imagine you're resting it on an eggshell or a marshmallow, that works too. So you're keeping the foot going nice and light, and you're not pushing through the foot then to stabilise your pelvis. A little harder, bring the knees up to tabletop position. So the knees can be at 90. Breathing in as you extend, breathing out to centre. As one leg moves, the opposite leg stays still. And you're trying to keep the knee directly above the hip. Still very aware, the ribs aren't flaring as you reach the arms back. Then maybe bring the heel a little closer, and your very last option, both arms, both legs. Breathing in, out through the knees above the hips. In through the nose, out through the mouth. If the back lifts, then don't take the legs as low, just to the point where you feel able to get your lower back on the ground. 4 left. Press gently down through the back, holding that lower back towards the floor. For 2. And your last one. Place the feet down, walk them a little further forward and keep a bend in the knees. Tuck in the chin, push the ball up to the ceiling, reach forward, ball comes back up. And if the dog's not there, you can roll back. And again, push up, flex forward, and then roll back down. Keep the chin nodded in. Feel the stretch through the spine here, and that controlled roll through the spine here. Sorry, it's my fault. You should be keeping the ball above your shoulders. I did on the first one, I didn't on the second. So as you come down, keep the ball above your chest. So you push the ball directly up, and then take that flex forward, and then tuck in the bottom and roll down. And your last 2. line work. So this time, staying at the top. You can place the ball down. Right, what we're going to do from here is place the ball between the feet. So you have your bottom foot underneath, top foot directly above the bottom foot, and both legs straight. So as you lie down, resting the head, rolling your shoulder back, and we'll come to a double leg lift with the ball. Take a breath in when you're ready. Breathe out with a lift, and a breath in as you ease down. Try not to place the leg, that bottom leg, back on the floor. So again, it's just a hover each time. I think she's protecting me from the fly. And again, 5. Try and keep the head and the shoulders relaxed. I'm trying to just look over the dog. 3. That was 2. That's 1. And hold there. From there, you're going to roll onto your back. All the way over to the other side. And again, both legs out straight. Push that top leg, make it longer. And then when you're ready, lifting the ball and both legs. So again, it's just a little hover on the floor. You can have your hand in front of your ribs, try and give you a little bit of balance. A little bit hard, letting the hand rest on the hip. Again, 4 here. 3, 2, 1. Hold the ball between the feet. Roll onto your back. Both legs out straight. And then from here, is when it comes to hamstring rolls. So you can lift your hips, stay here, and pull the heels in for 8. In, extend, 7, extend, 6, 5. So again, good work for the hamstrings for 4, 3, 2, and your 1. And then lower the hips. Ball right on feet, so right on top of the ball, hands to ribs, and just rolling over to the right. So you can glue your big toes and your heels together. Roll onto your right hip, but keep the shoulders down, and then bring the ball back into the centre. So you're breathing in, rolling to the right, feeling the stretch in the left, and then breathing out, pulling back into the middle. Breath comes in as you lower, out as you pull back. Gentle squeeze through the thighs of both legs. Stay nice and straight. Feel the ribs again in the shoulders. They should stay perfectly still. Try and let your feet separate. Helps to take a little pause. And then a really strong pull back through your tummy to bring the legs back in. 2 left on this side. And 1. And then over to the other side. So again, both legs staying straight. Ribs and the shoulders press down. Breathe into the left and breathing out to pull back. Again, try and keep the big toes, the heels together. Take that fraction to pause and then pull back with the tummy button. Gentle breath in as you go a little bit further. So as you roll the hips and the legs across, the muscles here stretch. It's those muscles you're really focusing on and shorten, pull the hips back in line with the ribs. 3, 2, and your last one. And then resting from the centre there. So both legs out straight, right hand to your head, and then with the left hand also to your head, which is the bit I forgot. You're going to lift and reach to the knee. So you're resting on your elbow to help you get that lift, and then rolling back. Again, same side, reaching across and rolling back. Now as you reach across, don't let all the hips or the feet move. Again, roll onto the elbow. Breathe in as you roll down. And again, breathe out when you rise. 4 more on this side. Keep the chin nodded in as you come forwards. And then you're going to stay here and you're going to pull, slide your hand towards your ankle for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and roll back. Rest the head and then change sides. So again, both hands to the head, shoulders draw back, Take a breath in when you're ready. Breathe out, reach up and across, and a breath in as you roll. So the idea is to kind of use the elbow a little to help you come up, but then trying to roll down with lots of control, so bringing each vertebrae back down one at a time. Now try and look past the ball. Notice how still you can keep your legs and the ball and the hips. And the more you keep the legs, the ball still, the more you can feel the work coming into your waist. And the key to this one is coming down really, really slowly. Just uncurling your body. 2. Stay for your last one and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and all the way back and down. And we'll do a side hobble today. So we're going to roll back onto our side. We're just going to keep the top foot on the ball. Bottom knees bent. And your knees are still aligned. So you pull that bottom knee back to align the knees up. What's got into you tonight, dog? Elbow under your shoulder and your top arm reaching up to the ceiling. Strong leg here. You're going to pull up with your hip. When you're ready, just a little reach over. Arm ceiling, hip halfway down. Lifting, reaching to the centre and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Press down with the elbow and really feel you lift up with your hip. You're trying to lift the hip as high as you can. So you're creating that nice line between the ankle, the knee, the hip and the shoulder. And also your ear. That should be in perfect alignment too. Last 2. Now again, this one, when you come to the top, you can either stay here or rest or pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. It's hard to tell if you're still smiling, either of you. Just a little bit. Nearly there, Lindsay, nearly there. The other side. I think the next bit's all nice after this. A few nice stretches. Top leg again, nice and straight. Pull the bottom knee back, so again your knees are stacked, thighs parallel. Start with a strong shoulder, so you're pushing down into your forearm and your elbow. And you physically feel that when you do that, these muscles under here switch on straight away. Big reach up, big lift with the hip. Reaching over and lowering halfway. To the lift, big stretch, and don't rush. So you get to hold that side hover even longer. Now when you bring the arm over, turn your palm down to the floor. So it just helps bring a nice movement into the shoulder as well. Halfway again, last 5. Try not to rest the hip on the floor, just wants to be a little hover. And you should not only feel your waist muscles working, but your glute leads as well. Just outside the thigh and around the hip. 2. Strong shoulder, keep pressing down with the elbow. And if you've had enough, you can either stay and hold, or pulse or rest. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Come all the way down. Just come to a little hamstring stretch, a nice one. Kneel at the side of your ball. Just bring the feet, the knees are hip distance, and then bring your right foot forward. Right leg nice and straight, and to start with, you're going to put your hand on your left hip and push that left hip forward so you're nice and square. Sometimes we bring that leg forward, either your hips drop so you can see they end up at this diagonal position, or this hip sits back. So once we've squared the hips, you're trying to make sure the hips are level, so pushing the right buttock down. Keep the length in the spine, just hinge forward and back. Now this time at the top, Just roll the shoulders back and hold the shoulder blades together like you've got a 50p piece there. As you hinge forward from your hips, try and keep that sensation that you're holding that 50p piece between your shoulder blades. So the difference there is that when we come forward, we're not stretching all the muscles we've spent time strengthening for our posture. We're still keeping those switched on and stretching the back of your thigh. Again, we always go further, the back rounds, we can get right down here without finding the stretch sometimes. Just by keeping that squeeze between the shoulder blades, gets that stretch a lot sooner. The next one, hold it, bring the ball forward. I'll come back to this side. Bring the ball forward and then bring your hand across. Now from here you're going to push out the diagonal and then pull back. Push forward and pull back. Now breathe out as you push forward, in as you pull back. So it's out to go into the stretch. And again, out to relax. In to roll back. And once more. I do like that one. Roll it back into the middle and change sides. So I'm going to bring the ball to the left this time. Bring your left leg forward and square the hips. Once you've got that right hip pushing forward, just make sure this left hip is not lifted high. So again, you're dropping that hip so it levels the pelvis there. Just hinging forward and then coming back and then thinking about that 50p piece. So your elbows almost point to the back of the room rather than letting the elbows point outwards. Because even by holding the arms in a certain position, it can change the position of our back. If you squeeze the shoulder blades and almost corkscrew the shoulder blades together and point the elbows to the back of the room and try and keep that sensation as you hinge forward. Breathe in. That's nice. That's really nice. Oh, and once more. And then we're going to add on. So from here, you're going to roll the ball forward, bring your right hand across, push your way to the diagonal, and then roll back. So again, chest rolls down and pull back with the hands. Again, you don't have to go too far. You might find just easing very gently backwards and forwards enough. You may feel into that roll all the way down. Whichever you decide. Your last two after that one. And resting when you bring the ball back into the centre. All you have to do is bend your front knee, smile, lean forward, push into the heel and come up to standing. You can let the ball go wherever it wants to go. And as you come back up, just a few little shoulder rolls, open up the chest, drawing the shoulder blades right down to the back of the ribs. And a couple more. And applauding yourselves, ladies. Very well worked. A nice number 10.